Welcome everyone to another edition of Willow's Weather Briefing. Today is Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. Today we have an upper level disturbance moving into the western U.S., which is going to bring a slight risk of severe thunderstorms for portions of the southern high plains due to these storms going to form over here in the desert southwest around the Four Corners region. We also have a slight risk of excessive rainfall around these same regions, as well as the mid-Mississippi River Valley and also southern South Carolina. We also have the wildfire smoke from Canada continuing to make its way through the upper Great Lakes today. Below average temperatures for much of the central and southeastern United States, above average temperatures for the northeast and California. Looking at satellite here, you can't really see the upper level disturbance moving in just yet. It is here. It's going on these areas, bringing an associated flash flooding risk. And also these same storms are going to migrate east into our severe weather area. The other excessive rainfall outlooks is associated with this cold front that's sort of draped across the central U.S. right now, all the way down to central Texas up towards the Great Lakes region. This is going to cause some excessive rainfall in these regions right here. And also the remnant tropical moisture here in Florida is going to make its way into South Carolina, bringing us a risk of excessive rainfall over there. So today, or yesterday, we have a slew of wind reports associated with our line of storms yesterday. There's a nice bowing segment that made its way through the Midwestern regions. Down here towards the southern regions, it was mainly hail. Also, one tornado report associated with a merger in that line near Oklahoma City. Here is our drought monitor map. The solid lines demarcate the areas of greatest concern with drought. Here is our current watches and warnings. Currently, we have flood watches for portions of the desert southwest and also portions of Missouri. Air quality warnings for portions of the Midwest and upper Great Lakes region associated with that near-surface wildfire smoke. Here's our surface chart. Pretty complex forecast chart over the western United States, but the main story here is this large cold front that's slowly, very slowly, making its way southeast. The slow-moving cold front is going to be the impetus for this flash flooding risk over here. Also down here, we have nice upper level support and some baroclinicity with this front to bring a flash flooding risk for the desert southwest regions. These typically arid regions can't hold that much water, so any excess rainfall rates can cause flash flooding over there. Also have a small flash flooding risk in southern South Carolina associated with this tropical moisture. Now this front is sort of going to stall with southern extent. The upper level support that we got for today's storms is going to move on to the east, bringing a low pressure system, and a warm front is going to lift towards the central plains, giving us a severe weather outlook for the southern to central high plains to the central plains. Also, of course, there is a excessive rainfall risk for any trending convection. Day 3, the front lifts even further north, and we are going to see, again, a battle between two air masses, the tropical air mass of the south and the continental air mass of the north, and this push is going to keep a stationary front around this region, which will bring a widespread severe weather risk over here, all the way from the central to southern high plains to almost the southern Appalachians. Of course, a localized flash flooding risk for much of Oklahoma associated with possible training convection. Here is our excessive rainfall outlook. Slight risk of excessive rainfall for the Four Corners. So this particular region over here, we expect locally 1 inch per hour rates in this region, which will be enough for localized flash flooding in this area. In the central Mississippi River Valley, 4 inches of rain or higher is possible within this region. And over here in southern South Carolina, rainfall in excess of 5 inches due to that abundant tropical moisture moving into this region. Day 2 tomorrow, we have a slight risk throughout the central to southern plains. We expect rainfall up to 3 inches in this area or higher. Slight risk for most of Oklahoma for excessive rainfall on Friday. We're predicting over 3 inches of rain in this area, but we might see a localized upgrade to a moderate risk of excessive rainfall, mainly due to the fact that most of these slight risks are co-located and might moisten soils and remove the ability to have that saturate inside the ground and increase your flash flooding risk on Friday. But we'll see how tomorrow pans out for that. Same thing for day 4. Saturday might saturate the soils, could see a localized moderate risk upgrade for portions of Oklahoma, and we'll just have to see where that takes us. Over 3 inches of rain is possible for day 4 Saturday as well. Day 5, large marginal risk for the southeastern United States. So today, we have a day 1 convective outlook for portions of the southern high plains. This includes cities like Amarillo, Clovis, Plainview, Hereford. This is primarily for a damaging wind and large hail threat. Tornado threat pretty low today. Here's our day 2 outlook. Slight risk over the southern high plains, southern to central high plains into the central plains. This includes cities like Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Lubbock, Amarillo. This is primarily for large to giant hail, especially with northern extent. This includes cities like Dodge Cities, Liberal, Guyman. Most of the risk area is an all hazards threat, though. A localized area of enhanced tornado potential over here in the southern high plains. Day 3, large slight risk from the central to southern high plains all the way to central Appalachia. This includes cities all the way from Amarillo, Texas, towards Atlanta, Georgia, and everywhere in between. This is mainly because we will see a very classic convective evolution along this area. So we'll start off with some supercells, possibly tornadic supercells with large hail, damaging wind, and possibly some tornadoes early on. These supercells will cluster up and then slowly organize into a convective system, and the primary hazard there is going to be damaging or potentially very damaging winds over on to the eastern extent of the risk area. And we'll see the same convective pattern on day 4 Saturday. You'll see clustering of potentially supercells with large hail, possibly a tornado threat as well. It'll cluster up and then turn into a convective system that will bring some damaging winds all across the southeastern U.S. within this risk area. So looking at the heat risk today, very warm across the eastern United States today, ahead of that cold front, especially warmer than average up here in the northeast and southern United States. The heat will start to build up pretty good around late week into the weekend, though, especially in the southeastern United States, southern Texas, and even up here in the northwest. We'll see temperatures almost reaching 100 degrees in these areas, which is well above average for this time of year. Of course, the heat down here in areas like Houston, just like last time, we'll see highs up into the high 70s. Very little overnight relief down there. These two areas of heat risk will subside by early next week, however. Here is our day 3 through 7 hazards outlook. Very, very busy in the central United States. We have co-located flash flooding and severe weather risk for much of areas like Oklahoma and Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and southern Missouri. We also have excessive heat risks for the southern United States and the northwestern United States, and also some heavy rain possible for areas of the Ohio Valley up to New England and the Northeast. Here's our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, June 9 through 13th, above average for much of the northeastern United States or northwestern United States, and also areas of the Florida Peninsula and Northeast. Below average towards normal temperatures for much of the central United States. Here is our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, above average for much of the southern United States, below average for portions of the Pacific Northwest. Finally, looking at our timing of storms for our slight risk tonight, we'll see storms brewing and already ongoing in the Four Corners region, the desert southwest, and then we'll see a reinvigoration of that as we move on to the noon hours to late after or noon to late afternoon hours. And then storms will start to form in areas such as New Mexico and move on to the east towards the main risk area, possibly at around 6 p.m. Central. That would be 5 p.m. Mountain Time. So these storms are mainly expected to cluster up pretty quickly, but some discrete cells may bring large hail into these regions. And also, damaging winds is also possible for any of these storms moving into the risk area. So that is going to be it for today's weather briefing. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment if you have any constructive criticism. And as always, if you want any specifics regarding your area, please refer to your local National Weather Service or broadcast meteorologists. Thank you and have a great day.